What's going on, you bumbling Biden ball-busting booty bumpers? Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair. Actually, it is live.
It is live, and I'm Gleep Glap, and that's Floop-de-doo. Welcome to the show. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's been a day.
Yeah,
I've been up since 8 o'clock working my ass off.
It's been a minute.
I'm in this funk right now where I'm just like,
Are you in the fuck it?
fuck it. Yeah, it's exactly how I feel right now.
You're having the Papa Matra moment.
Yes, especially looking at all of the all the news that we have to cover tonight. It's
Oh my God.
It's interesting. That's for sure.
And hey, I want to give a shout out to all the supporters out there.
Yeah.
Who helped me on the supporter stream on Sunday come up with information for some future videos. You know, cunt moves and catfishing.
Can't understand normal thinking.
Yep. Absolutely correct.
It's good stuff. Catfishing, you could do a whole episode on catfishing.
Oh, yeah. It's comedy gold.
Somebody tried to catfish me today.
Wow.
Get a phone number. Hey, you want to get some coffee? Who the hell are you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, Lisa. This is Alva. I'm like, not fucking Lisa. Oh, this is me. Sends me a picture. I'm so embarrassed. How are you? Tell me about yourself.
Block.
No.
Block.
Like, how you doing? I'm Bendy Dick Cummins Snatch. What's
Yeah, and like I
going
get a bunch of friend requests on Facebook from ladies. And, you know, if there's mutual friends, maybe I'll let them, onto my Facebook page.
Yeah, maybe.
But normally if I get like just a woman out of the blue send me a friend request, I literally like, how do I know you?
Yeah.
And if I go, well, you just looked interesting, a block.
Yep.
I want nothing to do with that.
I just don't get it.
Well,
Do people
here's the
fall
thing.
for this stuff?
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of
Ugh.
guys who are stuck in blue pill land, white knight, cuck mangina.
She said hi. That means she wants to touch my straw.
Well, I mean, they want to. That's funny. They want to ride to the rescue
Naturally.
and look like the hero and break off a piece. That
Yeah.
seldom, if ever, happens. Most of the time, if you're contacted out of the blue, it is a scam.
All the time, never fails.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. Do people, I mean, who falls for this stuff? I mean, maybe some. I've been catfished before.
Yeah.
Where the object is to get you to go and sign up for some cam girl website.
Yep.
And when I realize that's what it is early on, I play along until I get the picture that's supposed to be the bait. And then I either make fun of it, or my personal favorite thing to do is to save it, do a Google reverse image search, and then send them back to the website they got it from.
Nice.
Just for fun. They're like, oh, wow, I get to see all this for free? Thanks. And by the way, you might want to consider waxing down there. It looks like somebody punched Chewbacca in the eye socket.
Yeah, one too many bumblebees coming in and out of that hole kind
Yeah.
of made it red and irritated. Red and irritated.
Oh, man, you forget to wrap it and you go to that glory hole, turns into a gory hole.
Yeah. That's good. There's going to be swelling involved. and it won't be the pleasant kind of swelling.
There will be swelling involved.
Emotional damage.
It's absolutely true.
It is. It's absolutely true.
I mean, I've been mauled by yellow jackets, and I swelled up quite a bit.
Oh, Deploribus Rex called it the old Wookie cookie.
I got to write that down.
Wookie cookie cooking. Oh, that's some
Wookie
good stuff
cookie.
right there. But before we get too deep into the rabbit hole that is just drunken banter on this show, even though I think both of us are perfectly sober at the moment, that'll change. We did get a piece of a note of appreciation that was actually missed a couple of weeks ago. It's nice to know that we're not just reaching younger dudes with our material, we're actually having an influence on older dudes who already know better and are appreciative of it as well. This comes from Bob. He says, after watching you guys for the last couple of years or so, I got to say, I love you both and the education you're spreading, not only to the younger men, but to us older ones as well. It's an awakening to the downfalls of today's society regarding the insanity and empowerment handed to women.
Yep.
At 65, I will freely admit that I was raised in the 60s and 70s and impressed with the values of family. Getting
So was
married,
I.
having kids, raising well, being a good dad, father and husband. Maybe back then it had merit, but things from that time were quickly changing, and we who were raised with a different mindset were blind to those changes. Feminism and women's empowerment. Honestly, I think it was better described as value-based brainwashing. That's a good way to put it right
Oh,
there.
hell yeah.
If my blind and brain-dead stupidity is of any value to others, and to prove you two are preaching the truth, I was married. Take a guess.
It's 25 years.
4 times.
4 times!
4 times!
4 times! Half, quarter, 1/8, 1/16. That's what you're worth.
You can't even get full on that pizza.
Oh, my God.
Ugh.
Dude, I am sorry that happened to you, bro.
Me too.
I listen, I feel bad I didn't exist decades prior to this.
Yeah.
But, I had to take the long way around. You got to cut me some slack.
Welcome to Grunt Speak, live from my daddy's ball sack.
That wouldn't work out that way.
No, hey, I grew up in the 70s, and
Yeah.
I had the same shit. That's why when I got divorced, it was very devastating because I was in it to win it.
Yeah, and you were raised mostly by a single mother
Yep.
who lied to you.
Yeah.
So there you go. Today, I would graciously take the verbal butt-fucking and brunt of others' jokes and ridicule to help guys, especially the young ones, he says. Seemingly, they aren't drinking the Kool-Aid of society and are learning a lot faster than I did, thank God.
6 out of 1,000.
Yeah. After a long and arduous uphill battle over those many marital years, even I finally learned that what you two are preaching today is the rock-bottom hard truth, and happily, the young guys are hearing you. I'm now retired on a disability from a long career in law enforcement, and to be honest, I got fairly lucky after all the stupidity I went through. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, right?
Yeah.
It was a long, hard learning curve trying to do the right thing and be a good husband and father, but it's a fairy tale in today's world. A dog chasing its tail.
And he's not wrong. He really isn't.
It's nuts. Very, very few of us get to actually, have the dream of, the wife and the kids.
And I wholeheartedly tell you, if you do have that, enjoy the shit out of it, because men like me are paying for it.
Why are you paying for it?
Well, I got wrecked by the system.
Well, I know that. But how are you paying for somebody else's lifestyle if they were successful?
Because I'm trying to break the barriers down to assist them.
Okay, just making sure.
Like when I started this whole
because
thing,
I was all of a sudden I was like, huh?
when I started this whole thing, my main mission was like, hey, it's over for me.
Yeah.
But if I can ensure one guy behind me gets the...
That's what you're talking about.
Remember when we used to say that?
Yeah, but we're also, at the same token, I mean, like the single mamas out there, we're all paying for that shit. So I just wanted to clarify what it was you were talking about.
But yeah, I mean, if me doing what I'm doing gets a young buck to have the white picket fence and the happy ending, then it's worth it 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can save lives.
That's why we're here, 514.
And we have another guy typing up a 515.
Nice.
But we can't. I told him, I'm not assigning any more numbers until I get an email explaining the situation.
Mm-hmm. It's always nice to hear. But hey, yeah, that 514, that's why we're here, and that's why we're not going away.
Yep.
Dude law.
I think we started off, I believe, in the first 2.5 years after Purple Heart's final beat, we went over 100 and some odd, 110 people.
I got some news on that front, too. I didn't tell you yet because I wanted to bring it up here, while we're broadcasting on this stunning and brave YouTube, totally not woke platform. Yeah, after over 10 years, Purple Heart's final beat has been age restricted. It shows no violence, not even any harsh language. And it's been age restricted.
Nice.
How dare these two idiots go out and try to tell men what's waiting for them after a career in the military? How dare you?
And you know what? We should probably get that Purple Heart's final beat uploaded to all of the alternate tech channels as well.
It's not a bad idea at all.
Because that one is really important.
I mean, yeah, a dude smokes himself in it, but there's no actual, like, entrance or exit wounds. It's more like... That's pretty much it.
Fuck them. Hey, look, we all know YouTube is... They're going to collapse.
They're burning in.
Yeah, I mean... They're kicking people off left and right.
Yep.
They're playing the censorship shit. And listen, YouTube and Alphabet are basically being run like the old Twitter.
Yep.
They have all of this fucking bullshit that is really not contributing to their site. They're going to have to lay a bunch of people out. It's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Especially now that we have the right and the center right waking up to this bullshit.
Mm-hmm. The left is losing more independent voters every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I am not a Republican. I will never call myself that in a million years. Those people up on the hill there, they are the most spineless, weak-minded morons you could possibly imagine. I will not allow myself to ally with them. But, with that being said, I have a hell of a lot more in common with them than I do with the leftoids. I have zero in common with modern Democrats.
Yeah, well,
nothing.
They've lost their fucking mind.
Yeah.
They're using all of this racial, sexual bullshit to, bring back the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah.
And they're being fairly successful at it because there's a 30-pound brain motherfucker pulling the strings, has a lot of money to make it happen, and we need to figure out who that person is and put a fucking size 12 up their ass.
Those shoelaces taste so good when they're coming from the wrong direction.
Yep.
It's good times. Good times. Anyway, the big news of the day isn't even what we're covering tonight because it hit just this morning, so we didn't really have an opportunity to think on it. With that being said, though, we know that Crowder's getting a divorce. We heard all about it. Apparently, it's been in the works now basically since his twins popped out of the meat suit in 2021. But we're not going to get into that tonight because, hey, that's what pimp tart substitutes are for.
I need to get the numbers. Whenever it's finalized, we'll do the usual calculating for the numbers.
Hey, we can always pull a Bezos too and just go by current net worth and be like, okay, we know that he made just this much now from new subscriptions on Rumble. We can ballpark it.
Yeah, we can ballpark it. We can ballpark it to bust his balls, and it's nothing. It's nothing personal. I don't have anything against him.
No, but they haven't been married for that long.
But yeah,
and we know that they waited until they were married to actually start, doing the way, hey, hey. So the cost per thrust is going to be amazing.
Did they wait till they were married before?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, Crowder was adamant about that in his early, career appearances on the news that he was abstaining until marriage.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's going
to be an interesting one.
It's going to be done it's all in good fun.
Yeah.
And, if you wants to burn me back,
it's
me
fine.
back.
And it just goes to show you, though, that you can do everything right, even by the religious book.
Yeah.
And these modern women will still rake you through the coals, even if they pretend to play along.
Oh, yeah. They're going to rake you through the coals, and the whole time, but I'm doing this because I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
I just found out that a chick that I, did some way hey hey with back in the day, that rhymes, the guy that she started dating after me, he was very devout, wanted to wait until marriage. She agreed, just like this, gave him twins, and then a few years later, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm moving somewhere else because I'm going to go live my best life. Yes, as a single mom of twins, you're going to be living your best life.
They think that.
Good luck with that.
They think that. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, in the Western world, you are out of your motherfucking mind if you have a long-term anything with a single mother. Now, I'm not talking about a widow.
No, widows are not the
different.
Same. Widows didn't ask for that.
Yeah, they're literally doing their thing, lightning, whatever. The other guy dies. That sucks, and I don't put any blame on widows at all for, But with that being said, If she's a widow, but she's been single for 10 years,
Yep.
riding the carousel, then she falls into a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
They are temporary bullseyes that you play with either at the bar or shortly thereafter. And I'm talking about the bar,
The bar,
where dirty stuff happens.
if you know what I mean.
Not dirty. I'm talking dirty.
Dirty, like with 3 R's in the middle, like the Christina Aguilera song.
Like, for instance, like a dirty bar. Well, that's a bar where they don't really clean up much, and it's kind of ill-kept.
Yeah,
now,
that's
a
where they...
dirty bar.
Ugh.
Well, you better not take a black light in that place, or you might blind yourself with glare.
Yeah, that's when the glory hole has had too many visits from Riggs and it becomes the gory hole, and you don't know what's on the other side, and there's probably blood and guts and stuff stuck to it. And
It's the inside-out hole.
no one bleaches it. It's a terrible, terrible thing, but still, nevertheless, there's ladies back there like toothless goats and Goat Simulator going, y'all make me sick!
Let's call it the inside-out hole.
The inside out hole. I like the gory hole. I think it works pretty
You like the gory?
The gory hole. That'd be one hell of a name for a gay bar. Hey, guys want to go to the gory hole tonight?
I got to write that down.
No, I don't. As a matter of fact, never mention this again.
Yeah. If you know what's good for you, you'll never mention this again.
like driving down the road in a car full of queers. Oh, let's go to the gory hole, and then you got dark helmet in the driver's seat. No, go past it. Go past this bar. In fact, never drive past this again.
No.
No.
That's when you're having
Absolutely not.
that argument with your head with your good, bad, and evil personality. we could no. Well, bad pop wins for pulling in.
Yeah, it does say free chicken wings by the door. I mean,
Though I will say I have gone to a couple of nudie bars where they actually prepare some pretty good goddamn steak.
that's what I've heard. I've heard some of them have good breakfast buffets and whatnot. I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't get off on the idea of going to the Shake It Club. It's never been my thing. To me, that's like going to a restaurant where you can't eat the food, which would actually be a funny comedy skit.
No,
If restaurants were like Shake It Clubs, and you just go in and you sit down, and then they bring by this like beautiful steak, and you're so hungry, like, oh yeah,
can't touch
I
it.
want to get some of that. Well, for an extra $25, we'll put it in your lap. All right, here you go. Put it in my lap.
Can't touch it.
Can't touch. What? Why? We have to take you to a special room for that. And then you go into the special room, and then they let you lick the steak, but as soon as you try to take a bite, no special waivers and favors.
Yes. But if I recall, there was a strip club. It was near Fort Bragg. And
Strip club near Fort Bragg.
yeah,
Shocker.
I'm telling you, we went there to have steaks. The steaks were a little bit pricey, but they were really good. Big mashed potato. And I listen, I didn't pay for lap dances or nothing.
Nah.
I got to eat this great meal watching women dancing with no clothes on. I mean, you can't beat it.
No, I mean, like, you're getting a 2-for-1 special. Like, the dream, of course, is, get a woman who's going to make you the sandwich before she starts giving, actually during.
Do you remember
The
that
mouth hug.
That steak dinner we had with Sharp?
Yeah.
The steak was like that.
That was good steak.
Yeah.
That was really good.
It was like high-end steakhouse kind of steak with boobies. It's a no-brainer.
Steak and a blowjob day, steak and titties day. I mean, it all sounds good to me.
I mean, nowadays I'm sure the steak would run you about $75, but back then it was like $35, and that was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
But it
even
was
now,
worth it.
$35 for a steak is pretty steep.
Yeah. Well, you can go to those high-end steak places, and you could spend $50 to $100 for a nice steak dinner.
I like cooking steaks at home. I got me one of those Blackstone cast iron grills.
Yeah, I know.
One of the fans a couple of years ago for Christmas sent us that bullshit seasoning.
Yeah.
I use that as a rub on the steak. It's awesome.
I gotta try that.
Yeah, get yourself some bullshit seasoning if you haven't already. But with that being said, what do you say we dive into the topics for tonight?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's dive into this 10 taco dripping with hot sauce and sour cream. Tucker Carlson's out.
Well, first of all,
gone.
I'm going to tell you right now. I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Me too.
Okay, what we're seeing now is quite literally you're seeing the legacy media trying to quell and get rid of all of the perpetrators or agitators.
Yeah, people who tell the truth.
People who tell the truth. All right, now
That's the biggie. And he did not know that he was getting fired. So it says he did not get to send off. He signed off on Friday, telling his audience he would see them on Monday.
Yep.
So this came as a surprise to him. This was not a mutual parting of the ways.
I guess, yeah.
How it was kind of released in the beginning.
Yeah. All I can say is this. We're going to see more of this, more of the left and the right separating. Like, literally, the right has made a whole bunch of leaps and bounds at putting together an alternate economy.
Yep.
You know, they got Rumble. They're really starting to get those, competitor video sites to actually compete with YouTube.
Rumble's growing by leaps and bounds every day.
Like Twitter, there's Truth Social and Getter and Gab. You know, we're on all of those.
Yeah, we're on all of them. So we got to get back into the whole Twitter thing. I mean, I know that you reactivated the account, but whether or not it's being used is
I use it all the time.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, I was thinking about making a toxic mail account just so I can keep up on the news, because half of the time I'm hearing about stuff, from people sending me tweets like 2-3 days before I'm hearing about it on even the media sites and the news sites that I look at.
Yeah, and here's another thing: is we have a fan out there who posts a bunch of our stuff on a lot of those sites.
Yeah.
Above and beyond, was it MG?
MG, yeah.
All right,
Love you, MG.
I need to get a hold of that guy because I literally would like to see this live streamed on Getter, Truth Social, and Twitter, except you're not going to deal with that because you've already got enough going on. If we could get like a fan that has no problem just posting that stuff up on that would be great. Because we're in here to save lives, and to do that, we need to get in front of people's faces.
Yes. If anybody in the supporter stream Gilded chat has any ideas, I know Crusader Nate, you 30-pound brain in a fucking 10-pound bag. I know you got lots of ideas, so we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah. Oh, and I will be gone, I believe, the 3rd through the 7th of May.
Yes.
So I'll miss a Tuesday, or a Thursday and a Sunday, I believe.
All right, so no Thought Thursday that week.
Unless I'm with Rumor.
Unless you're with Rumor, we can always
stream from there. We'll see. We'll see what
possibly. We'll see what's good. But if you're going on vacation, enjoy your fucking vacation. I can always guest star. We got like 1 million people who are always asking me like, "You want to come on my stream?" I'm like, "I'm too fucking busy, man." But if I take a night off in a week, I can always guest star. So
all right.
Anyone who's interested. Now, one thing that I've heard, there's a lot of different rumors flying around about why this happened, about why Tucker is gone. The first one that I heard was it was because of this particular speech. Now, I've listened to it. I don't agree. There's way too much stuff in here that the left just loves to cast off as conspiracy theories. He talks about confronting evil, fighting evil, things like that.
Well, that's what's going on here.
Yeah,
we are
that is
literally confronting evil. I mean, this culture war is a spiritual war that's taken place right before our eyes.
Yeah, it is. So, like this particular speech, he's dead nuts accurate. This is a great speech. If you haven't heard it yet, all sources on Redonkulas.com. Click on it, give it a watch. There's a 6-minute clip here, like what you're seeing up on the screen here is just 6 minutes of the speech. But if you go further down the page here, you get the complete speech. Yep. And it is really good. I recommend listening to it.
And we don't want to get a copyright strike. So
There's always
we're not going to show it here on Oob of Tube.
No, we don't want to get Oob of Tube. But the other one that I heard, and this one comes directly from Fox, and I don't know who they thought was going to believe this. They said that it was because of a lawsuit that a former producer levied against Tucker. Okay, now you've got a dude who averages, I don't know how many millions of viewers every night.
The dude's a savage.
He's their main moneymaker, and they just lost $800 million in a bullshit settlement with Dominion, who, by the way, prior to 2020 was totally fine to question whether or not their shit worked. Mm-hmm. So fuck all that. But, I mean, come on. Did they really expect us to believe that?
Yeah.
And at this point, it's Anheuser-Busch is over here going, "You want to know how to lose a market cap in 60 days?" Fox News is like, "Fuck yeah, hold my beer."
Do you know?
Oh wait,
Do you know how much stock has been lost for Bush?
Oh, over 17%.
It's estimated at 35%.
35% now?
That's the estimate.
Oh, wow. Just sales have dipped
Yeah.
like 27%.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And
That's crazy.
let's face it, they're not going to get a whole bunch of those people back.
No.
And all of that money Bush and Budweiser have spent over the decades on, commercials and what have you to get the market share that they did have.
Mm-hmm.
All that money's gone.
Yeah.
All right. Like I've said, the right is waking up and so are the center right.
Yeah. And that commercial that they put out
Oh, my
afterwards
God.
trying to go all pro rah American after that, who do you think you're kidding?
You know what? We should put together our own counter Budweiser commercial.
Oh, man. We should do... We should just use it as an opportunity to smash back at the Transformers and call it Real Men with Penis. Real Men with Penis!
Our lips will never touch Budweiser products again.
Here's to you, Miss Leah Thomas. You couldn't compete for shit. And now, because of transgender culture, you're a hit. But at the end of the day, while your dick is still attached, you ain't worth spit.
Yeah. I like it.
Just knock a woman up and we'll see exactly how far that transgender shit gets you in family court. Good luck with that.
Well, to be honest, they might actually get if you identify as a woman and you say, "Well, I'm the child's second mother," maybe they'll cut you some slack.
Yeah, maybe. I saw a child's second mother yesterday over at the local swimming pool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, shit made my penis soft. I was like, wow. Because I look at the little kid. Like, I'm not even looking at the Transformer. I'm looking at the little kid, and my heart's breaking inside. Like, that this little girl is never going to have a normal life.
Probably right. Now, but hang on here. All right. Now, all right. If there's a young child that is going to be raised in the foster child, system, which is a travesty.
Yeah.
Or that same child could go with, two mothers or two dads. They'd probably have a better outcome if they had two mothers or two dads than if they went to the.
Actually, that's incorrect. When
you think so?
Yeah, they've done statistical analysis on it.
Okay.
Children with two dads and single dads end up with far more preferable outcomes than one mom or two moms.
Okay.
Because they have somebody there to teach them reality.
Yes.
The logic.
That is important.
It's extremely important. With that being said, I do think there is something that Tucker Carlson did that possibly got him fired that has nothing to do with the rumor control. You guys let me know what you think in the chat, but I think this speaks volumes, not to mention it's 1,000% correct.
What?
Like, I've spent my whole life in the media. My dad was in the media. Like, that is a big part of the revelation that's changed my life is the media are part of the control apparatus. Like, there's no... Yep. Yeah, I know, because you're younger and smarter and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But what if you're me and you spent your whole life in that world? And to look around and all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow. Not only are they part of the problem, but I spent most of my life being part of the problem, defending the Iraq War. Like, I actually did that. Can you imagine if you did that?
What do you think? What is one of your biggest regrets in your career?
Oh, defending the Iraq War.
That is it?
Well, I've had a million regrets, not being more skeptical, calling people names when I should have listened to what they were saying. Look, when someone makes a claim, there's only one question that's important at the very beginning, which is the claim true or not?
Yep.
So I say, you committed murder or you rigged the last election. Before you attack me as a crazy person for saying that, maybe you should explain whether you did it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for too long, I participated in the culture where I was like, anyone who thinks outside these pre-prescribed lanes is crazy. Is a conspiracy theorist.
Stop it right here. All right. Watching him speak like this, I think he's going to start the journey of the worst fucking road.
I think so, too.
And that journey is redemption.
Yep.
It's next to impossible to get. it's one hell of a fucking road you have to go on, absolutely punishing. So when he's speaking, I can hear the sadness and the regrets for him going along with the horseshit that's going on now.
Yep.
And I think we're going to see him do something to try to reverse that.
Yeah.
Because this is just my opinion,
I hope you're right.
and I'm making a prediction that
'Cause
we're
this
going to
is-
see that from him.
This right here, I mean, because he can talk about the other stuff in the speech, all he wants. All that stuff is 1,000% correct, but that's not the kind of thing that gets you shit canned from Fox News. This is the kind of thing that gets you shit canned from Fox News, because at this point you're essentially biting the hand that feeds you, and not only that, you're calling it evil. You're calling it part of the control apparatus, which it absolutely is.
It
Fox
is,
News is
100%.
nothing but controlled opposition.
It is, and that's why we should just literally stop watching mainstream media. Fuck them.
Damn right. Oh, he's got about 40 seconds here. Let's see what else he's got.
All right, sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
And I just really regret that. I'm ashamed that I did that. And partly it was age, partly it was the world that I grew up in. So when you look at me and you're like, yeah, of course they're part of the means of control. I'm like, that's obvious to you because you're 28, but I just didn't see it at all. And I'm ashamed of that.
Isn't that what the media tries to do, though?
It's their only purpose.
Right.
They're not here to inform you. Really? Even on the big things that really matter, like the economy and war and COVID and like things that really matter that will affect you. No, their job is not to inform you. They are working for the small group of people who actually run the world. They're their servants. They're their Praetorian Guard. And we should treat them with maximum contempt because they have earned it.
Yes, they have.
That's what got him fired.
Yep.
You guys can let me know what you think, but I think that speaks volumes.
Let us know in the chat, but my opinion is this: the words he was speaking, he's opening the door to the road of redemption.
Yeah, I think so.
I could be wrong, and now we have
Could
the
be
next
wrong.
one.
But there's no redemption for this piece of shit.
All right, now
Donna Lamone is out, and he lied about how he was fired, which makes it even funnier.
all right, now in regards to Don Lamone, from what I've seen of this individual in the media, I don't really appreciate or like him at all.
Yeah, Mr.
And then, I've heard about him being sued for sexual craziness. I looked into that, and it was just absolutely abhorrent what this motherfucker did.
Yeah. The crap that he was doing to dudes
Yeah.
in bars. And we need to stop demonizing people and recognize that the real terror threat in this country is white men. Like,
Yep.
that's why you're worst journalist of the year, Donna Lamone, worst journalist of the year.
And listen, I mean, what's going to happen to Lamone, in my opinion, is he's really done for the most
Yeah,
part.
I think he's done.
He's done. He's got enough money. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Whereas Tucker, he's going to come back to do something else.
Yeah, I think so too. And Tucker's got more money than this guy.
Yeah, and Tucker's
But Tucker's on a mission.
yeah, well, the thing is,
this
Tucker's getting approached by Rumble
Yep.
and Daily Wire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if they give him the same contract that they tried to give Crowder, don't sign with the Daily Wire.
Listen, I'm
Do
not
your
a fan
own
of that.
thing. Be your own boss. It's much better this way. Trust me.
All right, I would not have a problem, joining a media outlet if I didn't have to, lose my website, lose the rights to my, digital and written properties.
Yep.
Okay, I am certainly not going to allow my image to be used, in perpetuity in the future.
Yep.
Perpetuity, that's what they call it. And I'm not playing those games. And here's another thing: if you sit down to sign a contract and it's a bunch of legalese, just push it away and tell them to fucking rewrite it so you can read it as an average man. I don't want to have any weasel words that mean 3 or 4 different things depending upon if the comma was before or after that certain word. Fuck that.
People in the chat recognize that I did indeed shout out John Ward. Yes, and I still wonder what the hell happened to him. He was one of the funniest commentators on YouTube, and I haven't seen anything from him since, well, a lot of people have pointed this out, since J6. So if anybody's got any word on John Ward, I'd love to hear about it.
Yep.
Haven't heard diddly dick. But Donna Lamone here, was so mad because he announced that CNN fired him and didn't even bother to tell him when.
He got demoted to the kindergarten of live TV.
I know.
What do you think?
He had to go
Listen,
in his safe space and cuddle up with his teddy bear.
They don't do that to you and say, you're fine. No. They put you at the kindergarten, and if you can't perform down there, you don't deserve to be there anymore.
The thing is, he's such a hateful,
Yeah.
vile, purposely ignorant piece of shit. He couldn't get anyone, not even leftists who agree with him on everything, to pay attention to what he said. He's that disinteresting, he's that dishonest, and I'm glad he's gone.
Yep. I don't know. And then I was AOC was gloating over.
Oh, of course,
Tucker.
yeah. She's probably trying to take credit for
Yeah.
Tucker getting kicked off.
What a
here.
fucking cunt ball.
Like, no. It had nothing to do with it. It's because he's telling the truth. It's unfortunate, too. I mean, the media is supposed to expose, the dirty underbelly of the truth when the government won't tell you what's going on. And then we have one guy who seems to be actually willing to stand up and do it. Guess what happens? He gets fired.
Yep.
And then you have Oliver Darcy at CNN just gloating about being directly asked to coordinate with the White House to spin economic news so we all won't realize just how fucked we are.
Yeah, listen, and I've said this before, when and if the two-way rifle range starts up, media is not going to be looked at as neutral.
No, they will not be. They're going to be among the first on the list.
It's called PSYOPs.
Yeah.
All right, propaganda, PSYOPs, whatever you want to call it. There are military units who operate in PSYOPs. The media of today, they technically didn't enlist, but they're doing the same thing.
Yes, they are. It's all propaganda. Thanks, Barry. And tell Big Mike we said hi.
And I can hear it right now. There's going to be some serious incidents where you're going to have some news trucks that get shot up, may or may not have people die. I don't want to see that happen.
I don't want to see that happen either.
But then they're going to whine and cry about it on the media about, oh, it's so terrible. Yeah. But when you look at it from a rational viewpoint, like you're an enemy unit on the battlefield. You're getting engaged like any other enemy unit on the battlefield.
Yep.
It's just that simple. Now, I don't want to see that happen at all. This whole thing is making me disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm planning to get the fuck out of the way because I am way too old to participate in this shit now.
Understood. Ugh. Man, it's been one hell of a week, and it's only Tuesday. Now let's check out a couple of chats here on YouTube, and then we'll jump into our next subject, which a lot of people, I've found out, they don't know about this because the media seems to be just kind of ignoring it.
Really?
The Pimped Out Platypus donated and says, Charlie Mike Jericho 7.
Okay.
Continue on mission?
Okay. Jericho 7. I know Charlie Mike is carry out mission. I don't know what the rest of that is. It could be his call sign or
Help
something.
us out, bruh. Alabama 2020 title with a $20 donation. No comment, so if there was a comment, it looks like Susie Q's replacement got rid of it.
Yep.
Sean St. George had a couple of catfishes on Facebook just today. I asked one to kindly duck off, and the other begone thought. Begone! Tanker Boy Sabo, the T is silent. I made sure to lose my virginity back in 2003 before I left for the Army. I'm not waiting on some stupid rule, but I wasn't about to get shot at as a virgin.
No, I get it. We had guys jump into Panama.
Was what?
That had never had any poon.
Ooh. Just sad.
We took care of that when we got back, though.
I don't want to die while I'm still a virgin. Wait, what?
I'm like, what?
We're about to drop into a fucking war zone. We're getting you laid when we get back.
That's pretty much how it went. My squadron is like, this is unacceptable.
You're fucking up by the number.
Take him out and get him laid. Okay.
Just, make sure she has all of her teeth. Reaper01 has an email incoming. We'll save that one for new tech because we know how those can get. Sean St. George again says, studies showing having one or two dads is a preferential outcome. Shocker! Dung is fun. Did y'all hear Steven Crowder's getting divorced? Yes, we already talked about that.
We talked about that, yeah.
We're going to do a Pimtard Weistitude on it down the line. Not a banned account trolling the chat. The U.S. recession's Trump's fault. Biden 2024. Yeah, it's because people... what the sad thing is, people do actually believe that.
Believe what?
That Biden is not responsible for the recession or the inflation.
Yeah.
It's all Trump's fault. You got to be... there's no amount of stupid in the world. There's not a jar big enough for the stupid. I could have a dumb dumpster, and I couldn't fit all the stupid in there. Ugh. Evil Zombie Toe. Tucker is unfortunately a surface-level win for the left. They will run with it and push harder. It only furthers the divide. As long as he was mainstream, it at least gave the pretense of a center. Well, it's just going to...
It's
the left has no idea where the center is anymore.
Well, the thing is you get rid of Tucker, it's going to be the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
Wherever he winds up, everyone's going to go there.
Yeah, the Fox subscription service, like their on-demand, what have you, lost I don't know how many subscriptions as soon as it was announced he was fired, and their stock dipped like 4%.
Yeah, fuck 'em.
First thing.
Yeah.
So good luck with that. But it just goes to show you that money is not as important to these deep state fucks as the rhetoric, the narrative.
Yes.
Towing the line.
You are correct.
Cliff 3188. All these company layoffs numbering in the thousands. How many of them are diversity hires?
A lot, probably.
A lot, yeah. Related / not related. What is Don Lemon the epitome of?
I would say he's a diversity hire.
He is. Yeah.
I mean, he checks all of the box.
He's a gay black man who allegedly hates white men but can't stop sucking white cock. He's a typical leftist.
Yep.
That goes for AOC and Ilhan Omar and all the rest of them who love to talk about how evil white men are, but then they go home and get all their holes plowed out by white.
Here's another thing that tells you that they're full of shit. They always move out of the horrible areas that they live in.
Yep.
And they move into suburbia, which is where most of the white people live.
Even the BLM bitches bought mansions in mostly white neighborhoods.
That speaks volumes to exactly that. They talk this crazy rhetoric, but they don't think that way.
No, they know they're full of shit. Mm-hmm. They absolutely know it. And they're counting on the rest of us being as stupid as their voter base. We're not.
Nope.
Unfortunately, there's a sizable chunk of their voter base that's exactly as stupid as they think they are. And even worse, they've gotten them to believe pure magical thinking fiction. Oh, yeah, you can totally be a woman. All you have to do is say you are.
Yeah, abracadabra, you're a woman now. Get out of here.
Woo-hoo!
Get the hell out of here.
You don't even need the surgery anymore. With that being said, I haven't thrown this graphic up in a long time. It is time for Hiding with Biden.
Oh, here we go. What a moron.
Hey, you got any ice cream in there?
And he waves from the top. I made it.
What is he doing? Come on, man.
You ain't black.
You ain't black. That's got to be the best moment from the entire 2020 campaign. You ain't black.
I love that frustrated look on my face in the meme.
Yeah, but Trump is the racist.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Democrats have been responsible for segregation, slavery,
gun control.
Yeah. The black crime rates. I mean, they've made it basically so that virtually all violent crime in these leftoid shitholes is legal, which primarily affects the black community.
Yeah.
And yet, for some reason, they're the champions of civil rights and equality.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
The
Look
ones
at
who
Baltimore.
filibustered the Civil Rights Act for almost 3 months.
Yeah, Baltimore has been nothing but a raging shithole for half a century.
Yep.
Same thing with Detroit.
Yep.
I literally used to go on my roof as a child the day before or the night before Halloween to watch Detroit burn
You
down.
watch the fires and hear the gunshots.
Yep.
It's so
I
musical.
mean, they're having 100, 150 fires a night.
Yeah. And speaking of shitholes and Democrats creating them, Biden has just signed us up for 3 more endless wars. Did you hear about this? Probably not. Yesterday, Joe Biden submitted a war powers resolution. There will now be American troops deployed to Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Sudan for an indefinite amount of time.
Listen, there's already been troops there. I've been sending guys from civil affairs to Djibouti for over a decade.
Well, you never have to bribe men to go and invade Djibouti. I mean, it sounds like an alcohol-related incident
It is.
available on request, but everyone wants a crack at Djibouti. The more men, the merrier, said Pop's ex with a smile on her face.
You're going to get me sued, man. Stop.
And they're this color.
Hey!
And if you guys want to take a look at it, the actual letter is right here. It's linked. It's on the website, Redonkulas.com. Go ahead and check it out. Congress, you spineless sacks of human excrement. Why did you give the executive branch this much power? It was never meant to have it.
That's right.
Fucking morons.
Well, the thing is, like I've said before 100 times, the longer a government exists, the higher the chances of it going off the rails happens.
Mm-hmm.
Every government that has ever existed goes off the fucking rails.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter if it's a king, a parliament, Congress. It always happens.
Congress is just full of spineless grifters.
Yeah.
That's all they are. There's a couple in there that actually have a brain in their skull, but they're a fraction. They're like the trannies in the world population. They're a minority of a minority within the minority. Like, that's it. And it's so pathetic. I mean, Congress routinely has an approval rating of less than 20%.
Yeah.
Now, if I worked at a company with exactly 100 people and less than 20 of them thought I was doing a good job, I couldn't walk into the payroll office and give myself a fucking raise, now could I?
Yeah, they do it all the time.
These motherfuckers, I'm sorry, there's so many things that need to be fixed about this fucking republic. One of them is, if you want a raise, you need to come to us.
That's right.
You need to actually have the people vote on it. It needs to be, I personally think it needs to be a standard wage. You need to have term limits that cap at 8 years, period. And then you get 1 year, just one, of pension to reintegrate yourself back into the private sector. This was never meant to be a fucking career. Ever.
Yeah, listen, nothing good happens when you have bureaucrats who are dug in like a Alabama tick.
Yep.
All right. They were not elected. They wield all kinds of fucking power.
Yeah, and most of them now actually weren't elected.
Yes.
Ooh. Sorry, but that's what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
Most of them are just reelected by default because of name recognition. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of them that are actually in contested districts, Arizona, I'm sorry, we just switch the ice cream scoops around on the truck.
Yep. Some extra boxes of waffle cones show up. Who knows? Who knew what happened?
Exactly. But, hang on. If you ask Biden, actually, if you asked him about, 2.5 years ago, about a year and a half ago, not even, he'll tell you that he ended the forever wars.
All right. Hang on here. All right. First
Yes.
of all, he literally pulled out of Afghanistan and left so much ordnance behind that the Taliban now are in when it comes to guns, weapons, and vehicles, are in the top 50 armies in the on the world. What's going on? We're having technical difficulty here. Why did it shut off?
I have no idea why my camera shut off. Murphy, you bastard!
Could be the ghost.
Yeah, it could be the ghost. Could be getting fucked up around here. I don't know.
It's nothing. It's nothing serious. Just annoying.
Didn't mean to distract you, but I had to figure that out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just hilarious. Oh, yeah, I ended the forever wars. Yeah, but you gave how many billions of dollars in weapons?
Now, hang on. Did the French Foreign Legion actually fight a war in Sudan about 10 years ago, 8 years back?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I think I remember seeing that.
What does it have to do with this personally, though?
Well, I mean, we're going back to areas of Africa where there has been nothing but historic violence and mayhem for over 100+ years.
Ooh.
I mean, Haiti was so bad, they had to put an actual line across the country and say, you idiots can stay over there. You're Haiti. Over here is the Dominican Republic.
Naturally.
And the Dominican Republic, things are a lot better. Haiti, shithole.
Shithole.
Yeah.
Bunch of garbage. Hey, you know what? I have an idea. Just in case it's an overheating thing, let's turn off that furnace. It's getting a little toasty in here.
I'll do it right now.
Do it right now.
Right.
Yeah. Mr. Biden, I ended the forever wars and just happened to arm a hostile enemy state in the process. But you shouldn't have guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the schools that house your children, your legacy, they shouldn't have guns either. You know who needs to have guns? Congress. The same people telling you shouldn't have guns. It's amazing how that works.
And if you get up to speed on what happens after guns are banned, it's never a good thing.
Mm-hmm. How many hundreds of millions dead in the 20th century alone?
Yep.
At the hands of governments that disarmed their own citizenry? What could go wrong?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why do you think they want to burn the history books and rewrite them? They're already trying to shoehorn in, the fact, completely debunked, more than dragons and the Tooth Fairy at this point, that Trump used Russia to steal the 2016 election. They're trying to put that into history textbooks now.
Yeah, that's such bullshit.
Wow, yeah. Let's just let's keep pulling at that thread and see how things unravel. Son of a bitch. And, of course, they haven't learned their lessons. Least popular president ever at this point, and he wants to run for re-election at the age of 81. And a younger version of him once criticized an opponent for being too old at 63.
Yep. Well, he's always a contradiction.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah. You're absolutely correct.
Half of the time when he's on the news, I'm not even sure if it's actually him I'm looking at because, there it goes again. It's I don't understand it. It looks like a deep fake half the time because most of the time he's barely blinking.
Yeah, I don't know. So did your camera quit again?
Yeah, camera quit again. I'm going to have to figure out what the hell is wrong with that. It must have just got too hot in here and then shut off.
Are you sure?
No problem. That's all right, though. They can still hear me.
Yeah, okay.
That's more important than seeing my ugly mug.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, let's just re-announce that re-election campaign. It's going to go so well
I want him to run. I
yeah?
literally want to see that.
I love this. Biden's pretty old, and he's getting older and older. It's just the truth. And he's demented as shit.
Yes, he is.
Like, oh, my God. I thought it was bad in 2020 when he was running. Listening to him now, whew, that's just all kinds of sad. It's like elder abuse. That's what it feels like I'm looking at.
Yep.
Whenever I see him on television, it's like elder abuse.
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know.
I mean, I already know what's going to happen. They're going to ruin the economy.
Oh, they already have.
No. I'm talking about crash.
Ah, okay. So like Great Depression levels.
Worse. If our money gets hyperinflated like it was during after World War I Germany, when this pendulum swings the other way, it is going to be so bad for the left. It is. What do you think? What do you think it is?
It's the heat. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. That's what I do.
Okay.
Switch to a different camera for this week. Apparently that was a bad idea. It's all good though.
Things happen.
Yeah, things do happen. Not too worried about
Murphy.
it. I think it was just the heat being on for too long kind of made the room a little over because I'm starting to sweat over here. I don't know about you.
Okay, well.
Oh man. And then you know what? God. In addition to him being let's see, he's going to be an octogenarian within a year. And he wants to run for president again, which like 70% of this country, even on CNN, they held a poll. They said 70% of Americans do not want him to run
Good.
again.
Let him run. I want to see that happen.
They're going to have a hard time pulling the kind of honking they did 3 years ago.
Yes, they are.
Much more difficult now that everything's in shambles. Grocery bills are astronomical. It's just going to get worse.
It's getting crazy.
And they want it to get worse. That's the fucked up part. These people are not incompetent. Never ever make that mistake of thinking they're incompetent.
Oh, yeah.
They're malevolent. This is exactly what they want. They want you to feel unsafe. They want you to feel like your money isn't worth anything. And then even though they're the ones who started all this bullshit, they're going to try to convince you that they're the solution. All you got to do is give them more power.
Yeah, and that's all they want.
Yeah.
They literally want to have all the power. They don't want you to have guns because, historically, an armed population at one point will rise up and get rid of the craziness.
Because that's what happens. But, you better be careful with your kids because they're not your kids anymore.
Yeah,
According to Mr. Biden, this totally doesn't sound Maoist or Stalinist.
Yeah, this is this is not going to go over well.
This is just, wow. Whew.
Rebecca put a teacher's creed into words when she said, "There's no such thing as someone else's child. No such thing as someone else's child. Our nation's children are all our children."
How about no?
How about go fuck yourself?
Well, that's one way to justify trying to diddle kids.
Yep. Listen, this is so insane.
Which he totally never did, even though they authenticated his daughter's diary. Yeah, see, showering with your teenage daughter.
Not a good thing.
Not good form. Not a technique nor the preferred method. Unless you're, Pedo Peter or whatever.
Pedo Peter.
Seriously, who actually thought this fucking potato with his crackhead, niece-diddling son, let's be honest, it obviously runs in the family. Who thought this was the best bet?
All right. The people who are basically put their hand up his ass to turn him into a sock puppet knew from the way he used to act that he literally is not a leader. He is a follower. And that's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
They want the leader of the country to follow somebody else. And it's easy to control people when they're scared, when there's a lot of doubt, okay, or if they're stupid.
And there's definitely more than enough stupid to go around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get all three, you got a trifecta.
Still shutting off?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
What really blows my mind is that people who vote for this asshole, they don't see the stupidity of their own stance on the world. These are the ones who claim that the system that we live in is systemically racist, it's corrupt, it needs to be burned down and reorganized from the bottom up, and they can't tell you how they're supposed to do that, by the way.
Well, they're a cult.
Yeah, they're a cult. Yeah. They have nothing but feelings and ideas and nothing else.
No solutions.
Nothing at all. Well, what cracks me up is that they admit that this system is broken. And yet, they are the first ones to shame other people for not allowing their children to grow up in said system, namely daycare and public education. Because, the women nowadays can have it all, right? They need to go and work and, bust their asses at a job just like men, which means that the state raises their children whether they're married or not.
Yeah, I had to do I dropped my kids off to the daycare thing.
It just pisses me off. Like, why would you want, if you're actually believing the shit that you spew, why would you want the state responsible for raising your kid? If it's so systemically racist, that's what it's going to teach your children, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it is, just not in the way you're thinking.
I would like to see everyone on the right and center right pull their kids out of public school and homeschool.
Get them the hell out of public school. In fact, on Not the Bee, which is our favorite news site, by the way, you can see this up here. One of their taglines, one of their key subjects on their website where you can see tons of articles is called "Get Your Kids Out of Public School." Ooh. And you can see there's tons of articles addressing this very point. Study of 53 Illinois schools found 0 students can do math at grade level because math is racist.
Yeah, and
we could do a whole video just on this section of the website.
Well, if you go down, and a little bit more. What did I see?
I don't know. What were you
right there.
Brutal video shows high school students savagely beat female teacher who took away his Nintendo Switch. What the fuck was your kid doing bringing a Switch to school for in the first place?
Now, I'm going to tell you right now. If a student gets physically violent with the teacher, the student needs to be permanently expelled from the school district.
Oh, yeah, it needs to be game on.
Yeah, there's no playing around with that.
No.
One of my soldiers that I had at the National Guard unit I was at, former Marine, not going to use his name, he's a great guy, but he was an assistant principal for a high school up north. And he told me all of the just crazy ass horse shit that went on. And the best story he ever told me was there was one of the students was a senior, and he was slow, like a Forrest Gump kind of guy, and he could barely, pass, but he was doing okay. But the football team just fucked with him mercilessly, and literally one day he just had enough. He gets up, and this kid worked on a farm with his father. Not a little guy. We're talking like 6'3", 6'4", 4.5 feet wide, just built like a brick shit house. And literally destroyed the starting lineup of the football team in about 3 minutes inside that lunchroom. I mean, we're talking grabbing people, lifting them off the ground, shaking them like a rag doll, slamming them, kicking guys who flew over tables, turned over the whole fucking table with 8 people sitting at it.
Damn.
I mean, the dude was just savage. And the whole time he's just freaking out. He's like, ah, ah. So the soldier I know goes in there and calms him down, walks him back to his office, gets the whole fucking the backstory, and he's talking to this kid who's mentally diminished. But luckily, the kid had 2 friends that he always hung out with who treated him well.
Yeah.
Well, they came right to the office, and they're like, hey, they fucked with, they're always mercilessly fucking with this guy, blah, blah, blah. And a couple of these kids had to go to the hospital because he fucked them up that bad.
Oh, wow.
So the next day, all of these kids who got waylaid in the courtroom, their parents come in and I want that kid expelled.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no. In fact, this is what's going to happen.
No.
Such and such will no longer play on the football team, but he can stay in school. These 2 guys permanently expelled. Fuck off. You can go graduate from another high school.
Damn.
He goes, because those guys have mercilessly fucked with this guy for years. I didn't know about it. They just let me in on it. If I'd have known ahead of time, I would have stopped it before it got this bad. But no, your kids fucked with him so bad that he went full Clydesdale on their asses.
Damn right. That's exactly what you should do. And
Yeah.
that actually leads us into the next portion of the subject, kind of an offshoot of like just the insane leftoidism that is the Biden administration. How do you actually deal with these idiots on a regular? You have to mercilessly beat them on their own turf with mockery. And here's a good one right here. Lefties are furious at an Indiana county councilman for announcing he's a lesbian woman of color to own the libs. Oh, look at his statement here. It's freaking hilarious. For immediate release, after much consideration, I've decided to come out and finally feel comfortable announcing my true, authentic self. It is with great relief that I announce to everyone that I identify as a woman, and not just any woman, but as a woman of color as well. I guess this would make me a gay and lesbian as well, since I'm attracted to women. That felt good to finally get that out there and start living life as my true self. I'm excited to bring some diversity to the county council.
I love it.
Until today, we didn't have any females of color or alphabet community on the council. I'm glad that now we do. To avoid confusion, everyone can continue to address me as Ryan or as Councilman Webb. I will also retain my preferred pronouns of he and him. However, this will in no way diminish my true identity as a woman of color. I'm excited to be a vocal partner of the alphabet movement. Who knows just how far we can take things, but I'm just glad that this is now possible so anyone can be anything or anyone they want. God bless America.
Abracadabra, bitches.
I love this. It has come to my attention that I am more than likely the very first lesbian woman of color in the history of Delaware County to ever serve on the Delaware County Council. I'm honored to be the one to shatter the glass ceiling. #girl power. If anyone has ever earned one of these,
That's a thug life. 100%.
yes.
100%.
Woo!
Wow.
Ryan Webb, I bow to you.
Chef's kiss, baby.
This is beautiful.
Chef's kiss.
So that's one way. The other way, of course, is to continue the flawless track record of trans women in sports. Male powerlifter enters women's event and breaks record. Now, what makes this particularly interesting, especially in contrast with the second story that's very similar, this happened, I believe, in Canada. Bearded pro powerlifter entered a women's competition in Canada, smashed a record that was held by a trans lifter who was watching.
Nice.
Avi Silverberg, head coach for Team Canada Powerlifting for more than 10 years, entered Saturday's Heroes Classic tournament in Lethbridge, Alberta, after identifying as female. Video showed by athlete activist group the Independent Council on Women's Sports shows him walking up to the platform still fully bearded and wearing a regular men's singlet.
I like it.
He then casually bench pressed nearly 370 pounds, beating the current Alberta women's record by almost 100 pounds.
Yep.
That record was held by trans athlete Ann Andries, who was seen watching Silverberg while volunteering at the event. Andries also holds women's record for the deadlift at 544 pounds. Trans lifter won 8 of 9 competitions entered in the women's category over the last 4 years. And then this dude shows up and obliterates her record.
Look at that.
Just to prove a point. And then icons, he's mocking the discriminatory policy that allows competitors to register for events under their gender identity and expression, vowing no consequences for doing so. Well, guess who made that possible?
That's right. You made the rules. Don't get mad when people play by them.
Where?
370. I mean, when I was 23 or 24, my best bench press ever was 3 reps at 375.
Yeah.
I can go nowhere close to that today.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And I love this here. Here we go. Boop. New Zealand's strongest man enters women's weightlifting competition to protest transgender athletes.
Good.
This is the same sort of deal here. New Zealand's strongest man entered to win the competition. A 52-year-old Dale Shepherd entered Global Powerlifting New Zealand Day of the Deadlifts as a woman to protest the competition's self-identification rules on gender. The event allows men to compete as females if they claim to be transgenders who identify as women. Shepherd has been weightlifting for roughly 4 decades and holds nearly 24 national records in the sport.
That's serious business, man.
Yep. So he's a big motherfucker.
Look at that
See him
shit.
there.
Woo.
And it literally, on the forum, he wrote, "I identify as a woman for this contest."
Nice.
And that's it.
That's all you have to do?
Oh, beautiful.
Listen, I would love to see more men do this. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I woke up today and I literally feel like a female, so I want to compete.
Yep. And what's really cracking me up is that on one hand, you have him pwning the transgender thing, and what really blows my mind is that this, for some reason, is seen as a mockery of people who have real gender dysphoria, right? Like, this is a mockery. Why? Because biological men are pretending and walking in and just obliterating records.
Yes. And who's to say they're pretending?
Yeah. But what's cracking me up is that they recognize this is a problem and a mockery. But, you know, we've got, I don't know how many different incidents of dudes, you know, just walking into women's restrooms and taking pictures of little girls. And that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do that.
Listen, whenever you have some shit like this, you're going to have people who are going to abuse the system.
Yep.
I mean, that's what happens.
If we could just recognize that this is not limited to sports and alphabet community, if you could stop pretending like any of this was an issue before you started involving kids, we could all find some common ground and maybe move on. Actually, you know what? Fuck that. Let's go back to the way things were when you handled your shit behind closed doors and didn't expect society to play along just because you want to play dress up.
That's right.
Okay? This is your own private shit. Stop trying to make it public policy, and for the love of Christ, stop trying to shove it down our children's throats. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and listen, it's not going to go well when enough people get pissed off.
Nope. And people are most definitely getting pissed off. There's no doubt about that. Oh, boy. I don't know. We have some poke and smoke stuff here. Should we wait until new tech to talk about that?
Well, why don't we do a quick roll call, see where we're
Do a
at.
quick roll call. We got 786 watching over on YouTube. Let's see if Rumble is out doing YouTube again this week. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 918 and climbing.
Outstanding.
Watching on Rumble. 922 it raised up to just since I've been looking at it. Out freaking standing. We love to see those Rumble numbers up. Wait, what? Odyssey's like 0 currently watching. It still says 0 currently watching. Redonkulas isn't live right now, but the chat is.
Wow.
It was playing earlier. What the hell happened? Now it says 54 watching. What the hell is going on over on Odyssey?
Odyssey, 54.
That is weird.
Well, it's, growing pains.
Yeah, I guess so. 81 on MGTOW.tv with the best uncensored chat on the web. You got boobies like one chat down. And then you keep going, and there's just more and more and more. And what were we talking about? I think I forgot. Twitch has got 32, and DLive is rocking. Actually, I got to go back to the main profile page because we were fighting with their lemon balance crap earlier.
Yeah.
And 38 on
All
DLive.
right.
Outstanding.
That's
Not a bad night at all.
It's a good night.
About 2,000 people nearly.
Yeah, and I put this all on most of the places I advertise our shows are on the MGTOW Red Pill channels on Facebook, Twitter.
It's all good. So what do you think? You want to read some chats and then jump to new tech to talk poke and smoke, or do you want to rip through poke and smoke and jump to new tech?
Well, let's read some of the YouTube chats, and then we'll go to new tech and cover the rest.
Sounds like a plan. All right, we got Albert R. on YouTube says, "Gentlemen, I live about 45 miles due south of you, and we'll be moving out soon moving out of the soon socialist state of Michigan this summer." Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
Thank you for saving lives and looking after our military brothers. Cheers. And that was a $49.99 super chat, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
You are the man, Albert. Thank you. Austin, first-time super chat from Austin, says, Congress, like Biden's diaper, needs to be changed.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
I dig that one. Alex Patino, let me tell you guys about AFRICOM. It was established around 2005, and around 2009, I met many soldiers who had been or were deploying to Djibouti, and most had been members of the Guam National Guard.
I know all about what he's talking about, AFRICOM. I was, when was it, 2008, 2009, 10, 11, and 12. I pretty much trained a company of soldiers every year to go to AFRICOM, Iraq, or Afghanistan. And I believe I had 2 companies go to AFRICOM.
Yeah.
And I made sure the people on that roster were a lot of NCOs that I had served with who were about to retire. And I sent them on the ultimate safari vacation in AFRICOM.
Nice. Nothing wrong. I'll take a safari vacation.
Yeah.
We got Sean St. George. John Ward's last community post from 1 year ago said freedom. Okay, so if that's the last anybody's heard of him, I'm wondering what the hell's going on with him.
He might be in solitary confinement.
He might be.
Yep.
Dung is fun. Pop, you helped me to break out of my shell and to say the truth. I'm a lesbian trapped in a man's body. Thank you. Well, I'm glad that you can finally be your true, authentic self, sir.
You figure it out, man.
Humbly Rise says, instead of calling it sexual orientation, they define it as gender. They redefined it so they can include our children. That's exactly what they're doing. It's not rocket science.
No.
They're just evil and they want to diddle kids.
Yeah,
That's really all it is.
Spiritual warfare.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
It is actually spiritual warfare. And you know what? We can actually end it on this particular note. Now, not everybody who watches this show is a religious person, and most of the time I don't like to take my my sermons from people who dress in T-shirts.
I gotcha.
But this particular individual, I think, hits the alphabet mafia right on the frickin' nose. And probably with a nail that could pierce your wrist, if you know what I mean. This is pretty dead nuts.
The gospel and the LGBTQ sex religion, they're the total opposite.
I like that he calls it a sex religion because that's exactly what it's become.
Yep.
That's why this will be the biggest point of religious tension. It will be the biggest point of persecution to the church the next few years. We are so different. Whatever we believe, the LGBTQ sex religion believes the opposite. Whatever they believe, it's like we are the total opposite. But like we are so different. So the LGBTQ is about self-expression. The gospel is about self-denial. Jesus said, if you want to follow me, you must deny yourself. Again, we are the opposite religions. Catch the next one.
Yeah, that's why I take some issue with people saying, well, all religion is man-made. Well, that's technically true. But why would man make a religion to deny one's basic urges? Now, when you look at like Muslim, Islam, they're all about like, oh yeah, go out, slaughter, murder, rape, diddle
slave,
kids, all that
destroy.
other shit. Yeah.
Hey, but listen, I know the Quran has that in there. I've read the Quran like 2 or 3 times. But just like all the other like God books, there's a whole bunch of begetting, a whole bunch of murder, battles being fought, people being put to the sword for literally no reason.
Yeah,
I mean, like you look at the Torah for the Jewish. It's pretty much the Old Testament.
Yep,
and that thing is littered with begetting and killing.
Yes.
So. All the good books, for the most part, are written by people who went off the rails to a certain extent. In the King James Bible, a pope and 2 kings decided what was going to go in that Bible and what was going to be left out.
That's why the NIV is probably the most complete version.
Yeah.
All right, we got about a minute left here. I'm taking pauses here because it is using music from Requiem for a Dream in the background. I want to make sure YouTube doesn't tag that.
Okay.
They worship sex. We worship God. They are man becoming God. We believe that God became man. See, that's why they celebrate pride. We celebrate humility. We are the opposite religion. Total opposite. Total opposite.
Totally right.
Yep.
So, see, they believe that you're born this way. Jesus said you must be born again. They believe that I'm perfect just the way I am. The gospel is I'm a sinner. It's so different, and that's why if you try to be more loving, if you try to be more inclusive, if you try to be more diverse, if you try to water down the gospel, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because theologically, philosophically, in every single sense, we are the total opposite polarizing ideological framework.
All right.
He nailed it.
100%. I was actually, like, I'm doing the symbol thing. I was going to mention a lot of that stuff in there, too.
There you go.
I'll make my own.
You make your own.
And I ain't no preacher.
No, you ain't no preacher. And people are used to you wearing rugby shirts and T-shirts and being all Waldo and Blues Clues and shit.
I'm cool with it.
All right, it's 9:17, so I think we're going to take a quick break, about 5 minutes, jump on over to New Tech, and we got some poke and smoke details for you that you're just going to love. Some news out of Chicago that's actually, it's a nice white pill. We could all use a few of those.
We need to make sure to shut down. So,
it's going to happen. Yeah. Try to turn us back on again, YouTube. It's not going to go too well. And you know that once they're finally done shaving off all the rough edges, their next angle of attack is going to be off-site behavior. Once that happens, you're so gone. So jump on over to the New Tech platforms. Jimmy Bones, if you're there in the chat, can you please start pasting the links for where people can watch the rest of the stream? We got one last chat here from G-Man. Says, thanks, Pop, but I've always thought of myself as a reincarnated lesbian. It's the only way I can explain my eating habits. Touche, good sir.
Good.
All right. Links are popping up in the chat right now. Click on them. Follow us on over, especially to Rumble or MGTOW.tv. Odyssey doesn't look like it's working tonight. I'm not sure what's going on there. I will write them and find out what's going on. In the meantime, enjoy the tunes. Take a piss break. We'll see you in a bit.
All right.